We're
All
good.
right. So, hey, everybody, live on Facebook. Oh, great. Yeah, so it is live. Hooray! Technology. Woo!
Woo.
So happy Monday, everybody. It's like lunchtime already, although it feels like morning to me. I want everybody to meet my friend here who's with me, Chinyere Williams. I'm going to introduce her and let her do her thing in just a couple minutes because my main purpose to come on here is to totally promote our event next week. So for everybody who knows me and who knows me even peripherally, you've been seeing my posts on here that I'm hosting an event next week on Wednesday in Manhattan, and it's called The Power of Confidence. It's a networking and workshop event for all of my friends in the corporate world. So, the legal field who are, near and dear to my heart, who I've worked with for many years, all my friends who are paralegals, attorneys, anybody, legal administrators, they're all welcome. And I opened it up to tech people, finance people, anyone who works in the corporate world who's ready for something different. So get out of the office after work, come and have a glass of wine or some snacks, food, meet people that are in the business sector, that are professionals that you would never otherwise probably meet. So it's really open, I want to say experimental, but very, very exciting because it's something that I'm doing for the love of my fellow corporate people in America who are stuck behind a desk every day, who have to go in and sit in their cubicle and stare at a computer all day and just need something more to get out. And networking is a wonderful way to A, grow your business if you're looking to grow your business, B, meet more people, which can open up to new opportunities for you, and C, just get you out of your comfort zone and doing something different. And so I want to invite you all personally, and if you have anyone in your life that you think might be interested, please share this video with them. There will be a link afterwards. I'll send a link underneath right to the ticket at Eventbrite, so it's super easy. Just click and then buy the ticket, and it's only $25, super easy. What else did I want to mention to you before I bring Chinyere on? So I guess that's really it about the workshop, but so in the workshop and the networking event, I'm going to have a few different sponsors who I feel are really aligned with what I'm doing and what the evening is about, which is about taking care of ourselves as hardworking business professionals who don't give ourselves time to take care of ourselves. So we are going to have a number of different vendors and sponsors who are going to be there. And number one is Chinyere, who's with me here. And you can say hi.
Hi.
Hello. So I want to welcome you and thank you for your time and thank you for your technical support this morning, getting on Zoom, because I was, thinking I'll just do it on Facebook, but this is so much better. This is so much nicer.
Yes. And this is actually what not what I used to do, but I was in, before I became a coach, I was in corporate and I did technology project management. And amongst my friends, I am their tech support. So my friends can't figure out how to do something. They're like, hey, Chinyere, how do I do this? So it's all very familiar, very comfortable for me.
Excellent. It's funny, I was never a tech support person, but people came to me every time the printer broke. They couldn't figure out how to email something. How do I format this? That's me too. So I totally get that. I just am not familiar with Zoom, and like the last 30 seconds before we go live, I'm trying to figure it out. So thank you.
No problem.
So Chinyere, tell us a little bit about you.
So as I mentioned, I'm an ex-corporate person working in finance on Wall Street for about 20 years. I was doing project management at Citibank and Merrill Lynch for a while, and just kind of thought that was going to be my career, just, climbing the corporate ladder and, doing that whole 9-to-5 thing, and thought that was going to be it until I would say like my mid-30s. I was like, is this really it? Is this really all I'm going to do with my life?
So you started working when you were 10? What?
I wish. No. Yeah, I'm going to be 44 in October.
Okay.
Yes, fabulous. I love my 40s. I would not go back for anything.
Yeah, anybody out there who's not in their 40s yet, just you have a lot to look forward to.
Seriously. Like I told my sister just turned 40 in April, and I was like, welcome to the club. You're going to love it. It gets better and better every year.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there was always some part of that corporate life that as I saw my supervisors and their supervisors, they were like never able to take a vacation without having to get on a call for something. They were checking email all the time. There were, weekends where they were always working. And I was just like, I don't think I want the C-suite as much as I want my own personal time and balance. And so then I was like, well, maybe I can do because I love the actual work that I was doing, the actual project management, organizing, helping to bring some problem solving, right? Negotiating, all of that kind of stuff that comes along with it. So I love the skill set. I was just like, well, maybe I can find a different way of doing it. And, at the time Oprah had her show, and I was like, well, maybe I'll move to Chicago and I'll get a job being a project manager on Oprah show. But yeah.
To say she picked the wrong Gayle. Oprah picked the wrong Gayle.
She sure did. She did. But then like the winters in Chicago was like, I don't know about that. Like, I'm tired of the cold. I don't think I want to move to some place that's even colder than New York City in the winter. And then I started to feel crappy and got sick. Spent 5.5 years trying to figure out what was going on. Doctors kept telling me, oh, your labs are normal. Everything looks good. We don't really know why you're having these symptoms. Fatigue, low sex drive, acne, bloating, constipation, weight gain that I just could not drop. They kept saying, no, everything is fine. And I was specifically asking them, like, have you looked at my thyroid? Because it runs in my family. And they're like, yeah, no, your thyroid numbers are fine. So 5.5. So at some point I've, did all the dieting, did all the detoxes, did all the things, and nothing was really working. I met a woman who was a health coach, and she introduced me to the school that she had graduated from. And I was like, what is that? There's a thing called a health coach. Like, I had never heard of one. So I took a free class at the school, and I was like, oh my God, this is what I've been looking for. Like, I just intuitively sort of knew that if I could change the way I ate, then something in my body would shift for the better. And so I enrolled in school, and within like a couple of months, I was like, now I see what's going on. And then I was introduced to a doctor who ran some advanced labs, like looked at things that my other doctors had never looked at before. And he was able to help me pull together all the pieces and see that I had Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune thyroid condition, low producing thyroid, which accounted for a lot of the symptoms that I had going on. And I had polycystic ovary syndrome, which accounted for all the other symptoms that I had going on.
Yeah, I'm a polycystic sister as well. So
that's are you?
My story about getting pregnant is a whole very similar to what you're talking
about. Oh yeah. They told me like, that'll never happen. Forget about it. And I was like, well, I'm okay, because I don't really want to have kids anyway. So it's okay with me.
Either. And then I'm like, well,
I know, right?
Why not start in my 40s? What the hell?
Yeah, why not? My sister's been joking with me, like, it's not too late. And I'm like, I'm 44. What are you talking about? She was like, no, people are doing it at 48. And I'm like,
my aunt was 47 with her, fifth child. But yeah, so people do it. People do it.
Yeah. Oof, I don't know how I feel about that. You guys are scaring me a little bit.
Totally up to you,
So yeah, once I got into school and I worked with the doctor and figured out what was going on, I was able to see like how diet and lifestyle sort of, all the things that I've been doing in my corporate career, consisting on 4 hours of sleep at night, working 12, 14-hour days, traveling for a couple of years. I was traveling internationally, and how it just took a toll on my body. And I realized like, okay, I'm done with that, and start to shift the way I ate and start to feel better. And then I realized like, so this is a very common, like Hashimoto's is super common. There's millions of people in the country that have it. It should not take 5.5 years to get a diagnosis. Yeah. And I just realized that like,
actually, same with PCOS.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Both very common.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they take a long time to get diagnosed.
Right.
And so the more study I did on autoimmune disease in general, I realized like most people, it takes 5 or 6 years to get a diagnosis, and they've seen like 5 doctors in the meantime. And I was just like, that shouldn't happen. There's gotta be, I can help women. who may not have a diagnosis, but just like start to tackle some of their symptoms without having to do. So a lot of people that I meet are doing what I used to do, which is, okay, so I'm tired. So I'm going to go find all the supplements and all the things that I can take to help boost energy. Oh, well, I need to lose weight. So I'm going to go find all the supplements and do all the things that I can to lose weight. Oh, I have,
Eat
low.
less, exercise more. That's the best
Right.
advice, right?
Exactly. Right. And so I was trying to tackle all my symptoms one at a time, not realizing that like everything is interconnected. And when you figure out what the root cause is and you address that, then the symptoms just kind of like go away, resolve on their own. So that's the approach that I start to take with my own self. And that is the approach that I take with my clients. And I just realized like I would rather do this, which is more meaningful to me, helping people feel better so that they can, if they want to move up the corporate ladder, they have the energy, they have the clarity, they have the confidence to do that. Or if they want to quit their corporate job and start a business on their side or whatever it is they want to do, they have the energy, they have the confidence, they have the mental clarity, the emotional clarity to do it. And I just realized like my skills that I had accumulated over my 20-year corporate career were nicely lined up to go do this whole entrepreneur thing. So I did that, and I've been doing that for the last 5 years.
Well, I have to give you huge kudos and props, and like everybody who's watching can give just a round of applause, because anyone who knows what it's like to have a, we'll call it a purpose, as a 9-to-5 job every morning, wake up, go to work, do your thing. You're on robotic mode, of course, but you also are familiar with it and comfortable in a certain way because you're familiar.
Yep.
And you're also comfortable with getting a paycheck every week.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Every 2 weeks, whatever the thing is. So when you take this leap of faith in yourself and in your own talents to do it on your own and just cut all of those cords and you take that leap, there is a certain amount of fear that comes along with that. And what I really, really want to commend you on for after 5 years, especially, is it's beautiful to see how you just exude light. I love listening to you talk, and I'm like, there's so many parallels of what you're talking about where I am and where my life has been too. But it takes a huge amount of courage to do that. And then just that, what you were talking about with confidence, once you like realize things start lining up, you have a natural confidence that comes out, and then you're like, you know what, I can do this. I have the talents. And then there you are 5 years later, because I'm feeling it within my first year. I'm just like, wow, this is everything I wanted, and it's taking everything I've got,
Yes.
So it's a big, big, big jump. And I really just want to say 5 years, congrats. And
Thank you.
Looking forward to my 5-year anniversary. Oh yes. But 1 year at a time.
Yes, but it does take everything you have, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually.
Yes.
I like to say sometimes that like people look at entrepreneurs on social media and they feel like, oh, their life is so awesome and it just like flows and they're just so happy. And yeah, right. And there are definitely those moments, but there are definitely those moments where you have that, oh shit, what did I do? Why did I leave? Why did I decide that I don't need a paycheck coming in every 2 weeks?
Right.
But I think it feels like every time I get to those points, I have a client that reaches out to me with like some success story that they've had that's just like, oh, thank you. Without your help, without your guidance, I would still be stuck. I would still be having this kind of experience and now having that kind of experience. And you're just like, okay, thank you, God. Now, thank you for the reminder of like why I'm doing this, why I did this.
Absolutely.
And it makes it all worth it. Like I would not go back to my corporate career for all the money in the world. Like there's not enough money they could pay me to bring me back.
Yeah. I've said the same thing. I mean, there's just so much more there's just so much more that I have coming that I wouldn't be able to get distracted again by another, 9-to-5, but
absolutely.
I'm here to help, and this will come out in the webinar, in the workshop and in the event too. I'm going to talk about myself a little bit more, but what I'm doing is I love speaking to groups, and I've gone to different law firms. I've been on a cruise ship doing these workshops, and I love the there's just the feeling of the room transforming.
Yes.
And being with people and like opening minds and doing that in this specific setup in the corporate world, because I've lived it for so many years. It's just so refreshing
Yes.
to come in and talk to you like a human being, and not, it's not all about reports and graphs and nobody cares, you know?
Right. Yes.
So enough about me. I had a couple other questions for you. Do you have a couple
Sure.
minutes? Okay.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to just kind of clarify for our listeners, for those watching, and for those who are coming to meet you in person,
Yes.
what kind of clients do you work with?
So for the most part, I work with mostly women, although I have worked with some men who have chronic illness symptoms like, you know, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and those with autoimmune disease, because, you know, that's near and dear to my heart. So people who, or people who are just like, they have a bunch of stuff going on in their body and they're like, this isn't working for me. I don't know what's happened. I don't recognize my body. It doesn't feel good. Those people who are just like, I'm ready to change this, honestly. I think for me, the biggest factor is like, you are committed and determined to shift your current experience, and you're ready to get started now. So if that's where you are, then you're my client.
Perfect. And you said the key words, I'm ready. So
Yes.
you know, when people come to us, you know, as, you know, healers, you know, I'm on that level, and they have curiosity and they're not sure, then it's usually a conversation that is going to take place again in a year's time or something.
Yes.
But if they are like, look, you know, I've been through the mill. I don't know what else to do. I'm up against it. I just want to figure it out. I'm ready to do something. Then there's your client. It's just really amazing how it works. And like you said, it's always so many times it's at that point where you're like, why am I doing this? And then you get a knock on the door and it's like, yes, I've heard all about everything you do. And it's like, okay, great. You know, so
yes, it's so crazy.
So any of those people who are interested in meeting Chinyere, definitely come to the event, and especially if you work in corporate, because I mean, a lot of us and a lot of people I know that do work in corporate, we work. Well, I'm going to exclude myself now. They work, 14 hours a day. Especially, I was in sales for so many years. I never stopped working. My husband will attribute to that. Mm-hmm. Always checking my email, always on the phone, always text messaging. Something's wrong, you fix it. You're available to your clients 24 hours a day, essentially. And if they're in other countries, it makes it even more difficult.
Yes.
So there's extreme deadline pressure all the time, you know, so it's very, you know, and stress, in my experience working as a, you know, because I started as a health coach too, and then I moved on to things, but stress is a major player in all of the other things, you know,
all of it.
It's going to affect weight gain. It's going to affect all of that. So those who are working in this scenario still will find themselves totally worn down, drinking too many Red Bulls or coffee that we live on.
Or alcohol.
And alcohol, or alcohol.
Yep.
Trying to combat coffee with alcohol or the other way around. Alcohol, drinking too much coffee the day after a binge drinking or whatever the thing might be. Too much drinking. Come in, talk to Chinyere, and she'll do.
Yeah, I've been there.
Perfect. That's perfect segue, because I was going to ask what you're going to be doing at our event, because you're going to have a table set up and you'll be talking to people, I assume. But can you explain a little bit what you plan on?
Yeah. So because I don't sell like products, right? A lot of times you go to events and people have like a table set up and they're selling products. I don't really sell products. Like I have things that I, recommend to my clients. Like I'm big into essential oils. And so I will have some essential oils out there. People are, have questions about essential oils. I will gladly answer those. But primarily what I want to do is answer questions. Really have like mini consultations. If you're struggling with something, you have questions about something, you've heard about a diet, you've heard about a supplement, you're not sure if it'll work for you. This is your opportunity to ask an expert. Sometimes we hear these things on TV, we read them in a book or a magazine, or we see them on social media. Yeah, right. Like, I had a cabinet full of like, supplements that I heard like on Dr. Oz, like, oh, well, yeah, this will help me lose weight. Sure, I'm going to buy that. And then it doesn't, and you're like stuck with a cabinet full of stuff because you didn't have anyone that you could ask, like, is this, could this work for this particular situation that I'm going through? So I want to be there to answer those kinds of questions with people, have little mini consultations. And then for anyone who wants to dive deeper, invite them to schedule a full one-on-one consultation. So we can talk, get into more detail about, in a private setting, about what they are specifically going through and where they want to, what their goals are.
Right. Yeah, because like me, your work is very, very highly personalized. It's not, you have a cookie cutter program that everybody does the same thing.
No.
You talk to a person and they say, this is what's going on. It's like, oh, well, your individual plan is this. Right.
Absolutely.
So highly personalized. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little, I guess. Do you have any special offers that you're offering for the event, people that show up at the event?
I am. So if you come to the event and you book a one-on-one consultation with me, you will get a 2-week free membership to my Freedom Creators Mastermind. Wow. It's a monthly mastermind group. We have a monthly group call at the end of the month. So you will be able to attend the July group call. And each monthly call is a little different, depending on the topics and depending on who shows up and sort of what comes out. But guaranteed, like I've been running this since April, and the women who are in the group love it because they get to understand that they are not alone in what they're dealing with, right? And I feel like, especially with a lot of people who have autoimmune disease, because a lot of it is on the inside, you don't always have an outward showing of it. People don't realize that you don't feel well. And you end up feeling like it's just you, that you're all alone. No one really gets it. So this monthly mastermind is a way for people to not feel alone, to sort of build community, and not be judged, right, for slipping. I fell off the diet and I ate some sugar, or I had some drinks, or whatever it is. Like, the group is there to support them and help them get back on track. In addition, I have an archive of functional nutrition and holistic lifestyle videos that they will have access to for those 2 weeks. So everything covering like environmental toxins. I think a lot of women don't understand how the things that they're using every day to get ready in the morning for work, the makeup, the hair, the shampoo, the deodorant, the lotion, how those products contain ingredients that disturb your endocrine system and throw off your hormonal balance. So there's videos on that. There's this whole conversation around gluten. Is it good? Is it bad? Should you be gluten-free? What does that mean exactly? So there's tutorials on that so you can actually understand if that's the right move for you and how to do it. Dietary fat. Some people, are still from the old age where we don't eat fat because fat makes you fat. Well, I'm going to break those myths so that you understand.
Marketing.
Right. Exactly. So you get access to about 12 hours of educational videos.
Right.
And there's the Facebook group. So within the group, you can always, if you have specific questions, you can tag me in a post. There's resources in the group that I've already put into there that you can download and have access to. So just to give you a touch, to give anyone who joins the group for those 2 weeks, sort of like the level of support that's available. Had I known about coaches like me, in my mid-30s, it would not have taken me 5.5 years to even begin to figure out what was going on. So I want to offer that to people who have been struggling for a while and are just like, what other resources besides going to the doctor are out there for me?
Right. Excellent. That's awesome. So yeah. So again, if you're watching and you're still if you were on the fence, should I go to this event? Now you should be off the fence and just buying a ticket because She's awesome. She's awesome. So the only other thing I had here for my question for you is, do you have like a tip? Like, what's your number one question people ask you all the time? Like, do you have like one tip you want to throw out to everybody?
I have two, actually, really quick ones.
Okay, great.
So the first is, there's this whole trend about alkaline water and how people are like buying and drinking alkaline water. And I wanted to tell people to stop. Don't do it. Sorry. And the very short answer for that, the very short reason for that is, over time, it will reduce your stomach acidity and make it more difficult for your body to digest food. And if your body cannot digest food, you can't absorb nutrients and you will become even more sick. You'll become nutrient deficient. So water is fine the way it is. What you should focus on is the cleanliness of your water. So take the money that you're pouring into Essential brand water and all those other things and buy a really good water filter and just drink really clean water. That would be my number one tip. Every time I see somebody drinking alkaline water, I just want to scream.
I have a Berkey filter that I use at home.
Me too.
Love Berkey. And they have a travel one and they're really great and they get all the stuff out.
Yes. Yes, I'm a Berkey fan. So yeah, I love it. And then the question that people ask me all the time. There isn't any one single question, but everyone is looking for like, so what do I recommend?
Mhm.
Right. And one thing, and you sort of highlighted it earlier, there is no one approach for anyone, for everyone. Right. And so what I want people to really kind of take away from this is that what's going to work best for you is based on your history, based on where you are right this second, based on your goals and your lifestyle. And so your approach needs to be very customized. And that's what I do for my clients.
Mhm.
I look at labs. We will get labs. You know, I have the ability to get certain labs for my clients, whether it's a hormone test, a stool test, a functional blood chemistry test, a hair mineral analysis, or a heavy metals test. We get the data. We uncover, you know, what all of your symptoms are. Some of us are walking around with symptoms that we're so used to, we don't even recognize them as symptoms anymore.
Mhm.
And then based on what your
Like,
goals are.
it's like, I hear it all the time. Sorry to interrupt, but it's
No,
like symptoms, just to give people an idea. Symptoms like my knees have hurt for 20 years, or like all my joints ache. You know,
right.
things that you
Yeah,
just take for granted. Not that it,
absolutely.
and if you haven't been diagnosed with arthritis, then that's something to look into. You know, just things like.
Right, exactly. Or, you know, I had my gallbladder removed 20
Mhm.
years ago, right? I can't tell you the number of times I worked with someone for like months before they said, oh yeah, by the way, did I mention to you I don't have a gallbladder? And I'm like, no. Kind of major, you know. So now I sort of write, you know, up front, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. So right now I have sort of like an overall question. I'm like, do
Yeah.
you have all your body parts? Has anything been removed? You know, do you have all your ovaries? Do you have your gallbladder? Like, what's been taken out?
Yeah, it's a hormonal. It's very important. It's very
Yeah,
important.
totally. So yeah, just to, you know, for my goal is to help people shift out of this, like, there's this magic answer that's out there and I just have to find it, because that isn't true. And you're gonna spend a whole lot of time, money, and energy searching for this like magic potion. The magic is honestly working with someone who works functionally, right? Who's looking at the root cause, and could put together a program for you and can help you tweak it along the way.
Yes, because
That's
things
really the
are going to
magic.
happen, like we get older and our bodies change. And as you know, so what worked for us and when we were 27 is not
Oh
going to
yeah.
be essentially the same thing that's going to work for us now. So you see
Yeah.
people, and I know you see it all the time. I've been eating this since I was in my 20s, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
not helping anymore. It's like
Right.
become a chronic condition at this point.
Right. I mean, that was me. You know, I was never really an overweight person. So whenever I did gain a couple of pounds, I could just like sort of diet for 2 weeks and I'd be fine. And then, you know, mid 30s hit and that like didn't work. And I was just like, well, what the hell? Now what do I do? Like,
Yeah.
that was always my go-to. Just, you know, stop eating soda and, you know,
The
stop drinking soda. And yeah. Yeah. Stop going to, you know, eat burgers and pizza, and like the weight just goes. And then when that didn't work, I was like, well, what? You mean I actually have to like go work out? I don't understand. I don't understand. And then the working out didn't work. So I was really confused.
Yeah, that's
Like,
when it gets really crazy. That's when you
yeah,
know there's something else going on, especially.
exactly. Exactly. So yeah,
Okay,
that's it. That's,
this
yeah.
has been fun. You know, I thought we'll be on for like 10, 15 minutes, and of course we're like, that's fine. It's from the heart. It's beautiful, and I'm glad you had the time to share with me and with everybody today. And I will be, you know, I'll post this obviously on Facebook, and I'll share it
Yes.
around.
I'm going to share it as well.
Yeah, and if so, I'm going to ask you and everybody who's watching, if you know anyone who, again, who works in a corporate setting, or who has, like, you know, the desk job, which is 95% of America, people that are in, you know, open-minded enough to like check out a new event. You're going to meet people from different sectors, so that's cool. But you're also going to have time for yourself. So most networking events that I've been to, and I'm like a master networker, I've been to, I don't even know how many,
Wow.
is that they're, most of them, especially the after hours events,
Mm-hmm.
are based around, they're at a very loud bar, they're based around drinking, and people get drunk, and then that's about it. And you get, that's about it. You know, I mean, it can be fun because you're meeting new people, but it's usually very loud and a thing. So this is more intimate. I'm really hoping for 50 or 60 people. So
Nice.
invite. And it's a nice space. So there's plenty of space for you to walk around and meet Chinyere
Beautiful
and
space.
the other vendors. Have a glass of wine or a glass of beer. There will be other drinks and some snacks and things like that. So, and in the middle of this, just to kind of break it down for you, in the middle, I'm going to do some exercises out of one of my workshops that I do called The Power of Listening. So it's really focused on how we listen, and it's really interesting, and it's interactive. So everybody who comes gets to participate. And it'll be fun because after we break from my presentation, then we'll have another about 45 minutes or so to mingle and talk to everybody. And you're going to find yourself talking and listening in a whole new way. So it'll be a lot of fun. And
awesome.
Yeah, so if you know anyone who also is I'm looking for one more sponsor. So if you have anybody in your life that you know that has a small business that looks, that feels like it might be a good fit with this event, let them, send them to me and we'll talk and I'll see if it's a good fit or not. And my last ask is that I'm still looking for a couple of volunteers. So if anyone is open on the evening of the 24th of July, which is next Wednesday, it's from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Again, I'm going to put a link here so you can just click it, buy a ticket. But if you want to be a volunteer, let me know, and then I'll give you a free ticket, so you can invite a friend for free. So that's a bonus.
Awesome.
So that's that. So if you, do you have any questions, Chinyere, for me or anything else you want to, before we close this off for the day?
I am just excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm coming straight from the beach. So that's exciting and fun. And yeah, my hair might be a mess. So it probably won't look like this next Wednesday. But I'm looking forward to meeting everyone and seeing what magic we can create together.
Let's do it. All right, great. So Thank you again from my heart. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on Wednesday.
Absolutely.
All right.
Bye.